Hi, freaky friends. This is Colleen.
And this is Margaret.
And we're the Cousins Weird.
We're out in nature.
We're in nature. We're out of the doors because it's hotter than blazes in our pod and we can't do it.
Nope.
So here we are by the pool.
And there's Tweety birds.
That aren't Margaret's phone.
They're not my phone, they're actually birds, real ones.
And you hear the hum of the pool. And you may hear my parents eating in the background. But it's going to be fun and exciting. And we're on an adventure together, friends.
We might do this for every episode this
Maybe
summer.
for the summertime we can be outdoors. This is nice.
It would be nice. It is nice. I enjoy it. It's very nature-esque.
It's very relaxing.
We're in her parents' gazebo.
In the gazebo. Oh, we could have the waterfall over here running, and we could have that in the background too.
Yeah, right.
We could have some kind of ASMR nighttime sleepiness going on, but then you have to listen to us cackle, and it'll wake you right up. We aren't good at peacefulness.
No,
we don't do peaceful.
Unless that's how you know I'm asleep.
Yeah,
I'm quiet.
And Margaret will be in mid sentence, and all of a sudden you're like, "Wait, she stopped."
What did you say? I'm like,
she's out.
Out. I have more cat drama.
Oh, you and your cat drama?
Yes, this is the ultimate drama, though. So our female cat that was dropped off, the stray that we brought in our house, she was really skinny, emaciated, bony, starving,
Mm-hmm.
And then my husband was like, "Have you felt her stomach? It feels pretty round and hard, and it's like the size of a baseball, so not very big, but very hard." And he goes, "I think she's got parasites," and I'm like, "Lovely."
Right.
And I'm like, we probably should get a dewormer, right?
Yeah.
And I just kept forgetting about it, And yesterday morning, my husband goes, "So, how do you feel about having more cats?" And I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Because I'm pretty sure Buttercup just had some kittens." I'm like, "Oh my God." Of course she did.
Yes.
Like, she wasn't very big, so I go, the max she had in there was 3. And I was right. Although only one survived.
Right.
Tiny little gray tiger run.
Little cutie.
Very cute. So our kids are trying to keep her isolated. We have her in our son's room, the door shut. And
right.
She's having some new mama stress, so
hopefully
we can keep the baby eating and alive. That's our main worry right now. You
went from 2 cats
to 5
to 4
to 5. Yeah, and there's 5 of us live in the house, and the kids like, each of us get a cat, and I'm like, the gray kitten's mine. And my girls, because Buttercup was there. Well, technically, Buttercup's our cat, so her baby's ours too.
Oh, they're smart.
They are. They're too smart.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of all rooted in my cats, because they all end up sleeping in our room anyway, so.
That's usually how that works.
Yeah, so we were at night, we were putting the kitten, Crunchy, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the
little one,
little ginger-colored kitten that we got. We were having her sleep with Jackson, and because she's so little, I don't want to run around the house at night. I don't want the other cats to bug her.
Right.
She's so little, so we kept her isolated at night. But now that the mother cat and the new baby are in Jackson's room, because his room is small, right, and the kids are always coming in and out of my room, and I just kind of want to keep it safe. So we have the kitten in our room, and it was the first night with kitten, and I'm like, she kept attacking my feet.
It's like having a baby.
It really is. But then she kept sleeping.
Oh, see, it's like a baby. They drive you nuts, but yet they're like sweet and cute.
She's sleeping up. She's this little round fuzzball. She's so cute.
Aww.
Curled up on me. She sleep right. And I'm like, she's so light. She doesn't weigh anything. I'm like roll over on top of her. Right? Like, I'm so nervous. I didn't. Not that I know of. So
she's alive. So it's a good sign. Even if you did, it's fine.
Definitely like sleeping with a baby.
Yeah, because you're always like very aware. So you're not totally resting because you're sort of awake.
Yeah, it was fun. So yeah, now we have a mother cat that doesn't know how to take care of her baby, and I thought we were going to have to hand feed it. Right. But she won't go in the box with the baby, so she lays on the floor next to the box, and we just take the little kitten out of the box and put it next to the mother, and then she latches on, or he, whoever. Right. And she lets it nurse. She just doesn't want to be in the box.
Oh, well. She's like, I don't want to be in there.
This is the cat that sleeps in the tub.
Well, she put her in the tub with the...
I should.
Kitten. She'd probably be happy.
Yeah, but then somebody will, like, run the tub and drown them.
Forget that they're... Yeah. That would be good.
Not so much.
No. Yeah, I don't have any new animals in my house. Well, there's mice still. I feel like we get rid of mice, and then all of a sudden mice are there again. There's no...
You gotta have a cat.
Well, my son has 2 cats.
So they're not in his apartment. They've come down to yours.
No, actually, their cat keeps... The mice are upstairs, too. Because I hear them in the ceiling. I haven't seen mice in my apartment anymore. Because I've done all the things to... I put bought those little satchels and such. You put around to deter them. They have like wintergreen or something in it.
Yeah.
And Bree keeps catching them from her cats and then putting them on the porch. And I keep telling her, it's coming back in. Like when you put them outside on the porch, they just come right back in the house.
It's so funny. When I was a kid, I would always try to rescue I don't know.
No.
I said, that's nature. The cat wants to eat the mouse, the cat can eat the mouse. That's what the cat's supposed to do.
But she saves them every time.
And I'm a vegetarian, and I feel like that.
Well,
like, that's just
nature. The cat's is in their nature, too.
It is, and it's disgusting. And
yeah. I was talking about things that make me cringe. We were talking before you got here, my parents, about the submersible people went to go see the Titanic.
And are disappeared.
Have disappeared, and they were told, don't do it, it's dangerous, and still they spent they got too much money, first of all. And I'm not kind of, like, make light of a situation where people died, but they knew what they were getting into.
Did they, though? Because a lot of times people that have that kind of money don't understand how life is. They were told by several people were warned that this is not safe, there's no plan of evacuation or to save you if something happens. So they're basically... They're lost and they're probably dead.
No, they found debris.
What happened to it?
It imploded. They said that's what would happen. It imploded. Did you see pictures of how small that thing was?
No.
It's like a turd. They got inside a turd to go see the Titanic. I'm sorry, I can watch a documentary on that from my couch. Yeah. I'm not going up into space, and I'm not going into the bottom of the ocean. There's a reason why I don't go there. Because you can implode either way.
The amount of pressure.
That doesn't sound fun to me. None of that sounds fun. I don't want to be in small things. I don't want to be underwater. I don't want that. I don't want to be outer space in a small thing either. There's nothing, you couldn't pay me $250,000 to get in it. It could be sitting here in this backyard. I wouldn't have gotten in that thing. It's too small. That's horrifying to me.
Yeah, me too. I would agree.
And I looked at pictures of how big it was, and it looks like a little shit. It looks like a little turd. Like a pointy, one-ended turd. Like, you know the turds your cat does and one end pointed? That's what this thing looks like.
And they're sitting straight up.
Yeah. It's like one of those. It was gross. But that, when you were talking about gross things, it made me think of that because I thought, that's gross. And...
They didn't find the people?
No, it imploded. There would be nothing left of them. Just debris. And they had to be bolted into it, Margaret. There's not a door. You sit down and then they bolt you into it. That alone would make me never step foot in it. Just the whole thing's bizarre.
It's entitlement. Rich entitlement right there.
That's what happens.
You think, you could die. Oh, we won't die.
We have all
too
this
much money to die.
It's just the same as people going to outer space. Like, what's the obsession with this stuff? I don't get it.
It's because people want to say they did it.
Because you have more money than
I went down and saw the Titanic. Because I'm rich and I can afford to do shit like that with my money.
Listen, the Titanic's down there. And it doesn't want it to be seen. It's going to kill you if you come near it.
It's terrible. It killed a bunch of people on its way down.
Yeah.
And it killed people, idiots, going down there.
Yeah.
Not to speak ill of the dead, but you're stupid.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, it'd be different if they were trying to, if it was some kind of, there was some, I don't even know.
The Challenger.
Yes.
Exploded. Those people were going to space for a reason.
Yes.
They're going to study. They were actual, scientists going to do something. They weren't just rich people trying to spend money.
Yes, thank you. I was trying to think of a heroic cause. It wasn't that. It was just dumb. And they got inside a turd, and they thought they were going to be fine, and you're not. Even the guy who owned it was in it. So, and then one of the guys, they were told that it was dangerous or whatever, and he took his kid. I don't know how old the kid was. I don't know if they were probably an adult, but still.
That's just awful.
Yeah, the whole thing's terrible. Anyway,
probably
rambled long enough. We can get into our episode.
It's Colleen's week.
It's my week, and we are talking about a haunted thing. Ooh. This story begins with Robert Eugene Otto. He was born October 25th in 1900. He was the youngest of 4 children, born to a prominent family that emigrated from Germany and settled in Key West, Florida.
Florida man.
Yeah, Florida man. And this is fitting, let me just say.
Oh, God.
Now, this story is about the doll that Robert Eugene got for his 4th birthday. Now, there's several accounts where this doll stems from and the reason behind it, but we do know for sure he got it for his 4th birthday. The prominent story is that he was a voodoo doll made by the Otto's Haitian servant, saying that she gave the doll to Robert Eugene as an act of revenge because she was mistreated by the Ottos. Robert decided that he was going to give him the sailor suit and hat that was his, and that he was now the doll was going to be called Robert, and he was to be called Gene from there on out. So he gave the doll his clothing and his name.
That's a little weird.
Yeah. The doll is 3 feet tall.
Oh, no.
And is about 6 pounds.
No!
He has short blonde hair. His eyes are made of black buttons, and he's stuffed with straw.
No, thanks. I'm good.
So
you lost me at 3 feet tall. I'm good. You gave him his clothes.
His name is Robert now. The doll is named after him. His name is Robert, and Robert now goes by Gene. He insisted at 4, apparently, that he was going to be called Gene from there on out.
That's creepy.
Also gave him a little stuffed lion that he held in his hand. The doll, not the kid. So we're going to call Robert is going to be the doll from now on, and Gene is the child when I talk about it. Okay?
Okay.
Now, Robert was Gene's most favorite toy, and he would take him everywhere he went. He insisted that he sit in his own chair at the dinner table, and he would share Gene's bed at night. No. This is where things started to get real weird, okay?
Well, it's already weird, Colleen.
Yeah, Thomas and Minnie, our Gene's parents, said that they would hear Gene in his room at night talking, but heard 2 sets of voices. And when they'd go to check on him, it would just be Gene and Robert the doll. They also said Gene would scream at night, and they would rush in to check on him, and it would appear that Robert was holding Gene down on the bed. Objects started flying around the room, and Gene's other toys were found destroyed.
I don't like this.
When they would discipline Gene for things flying around the room and things being destroyed, he'd say, "It's not me, Robert did it." They figured Robert was a bad influence on Gene, so they decided we're going to lock him up in the attic because he's being a little shit with his doll.
So you throw him in a big pile of wood and you burn him.
So time passed, and after years of having issues with Robert and Gene, time has passed, and now Gene is an adult and he went off to college. He went to study in the Academy of Fine Arts in Chicago, and he was there for 3 years and became a pretty decent artist. And when he got out of school, he went to work as in the Art Students League in New York City, and then had an opportunity to go to Paris to study and to make art, which is pretty awesome to do,
Mm-hmm.
So he's in his early 20s when this happens. There he meets his wife, Annette Parker. And Annette was originally from New England, from Massachusetts area, and they happened to both be in Paris at the same time. She was in Paris. She was studying music while she was there. They got married in May 1930s and soon moved to New York. So he must have been 30 because he was born in 1900. So he was at 30 at this point. They didn't have any children. The couple moved back. They went to New York and they actually became pretty famous. They wrote a bunch of songs together. And they played in Carnegie Hall at one point and stuff. So they were doing pretty good for themselves. And then Gene found out that his mother was sick, so they decided to move back to Key West, and she passed away in 1940. So 10 years after marriage, they moved back to Key West. After his mom passed, Gene's siblings said that we're going to sign the house over to you and Anne. You can have the house. And then they split everything else up. The family home is now called the Artist's House because Gene was an artist and she would play the piano, and that's what they were known for. Robert the doll was still living in the house. He had been in the attic. And Robert and Gene picked right up where they left off when he was a child.
Oh,
yes.
No. That's creepy. That's just creepy.
Robert, or Gene's wife, Anne, was like, something's not right with this doll. I don't want this doll near me. This doll needs to have its own space in the house, and it's not going to be anywhere I am. She insisted on never being in the same room as her. So Gene created a special room up in the attic for Robert.
If your spouse makes a room in your house for a creepy ass doll, then you need to get the hell out. Okay?
He was an eccentric artist, apparently.
No thanks. I'm sorry. No thanks. I'm out.
I didn't even think to look up what his art looked like. I need to look up what it
creepy ass dolls.
Creepy ass dolls. Let me
there
look.
are rooms in your house.
Let me look. Gene Otto art. I wonder if I gotta look this up. There's pictures of Gene Otto. Gene Otto oil painting canvas. Oh, look, he has a ton of stuff. I mean, he's actually very talented. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's got tons of different...
That is a fat cat right there. Look at her stomach.
He does, he has all sorts of different types. There's, modern. Maybe that's not all him.
Fake bird.
That was fake bird. Oh, okay, that wasn't his. Sorry, I lied.
Oh.
His is probably creepy ass dolls. This is his. This is kind of boring, but, I mean, he still could paint.
Yeah. I burned me.
Yeah.
I can't paint that good.
So, right now, you can buy this for $3,500. Oil on canvas, composition of breadfruit leaf, a Guatemalan jug, a conch shell, and hibiscus. Fancy. Anyway, I had to look it up, okay? Because I was like, I wonder what kind of art he did. He didn't do creepy-ass art. So, there was that. I gotta find out where I was. Okay. Yeah, so if your spouse makes a special room in your house for a creepy-ass doll, it's time to check out.
It's time to say, I think I'm
going to go live with my family in Massachusetts again.
Especially if there's no children. Especially if there is children involved.
Yeah, get the freak out. He furnished the room, Margaret, with child-size furniture and toys for the doll. And he also made it his art studio. So he spent lots and lots of time in the attic with the doll painting. The doll had its own room.
No thanks.
Mm-hmm. He would paint there with Robert by his side. A neighbor that was interviewed later on said that Anne confided in them, and when Gene would speak mean, he would get real mean to Anne, and she would be upset. He would say, "Oh, that wasn't me, that was Robert." So again, as an adult grown man, blaming the things he did on this creepy-ass doll.
Yikes.
Like, no, sir, the meanness came out of your mouth.
Right.
But he blamed it again on
the doll.
Robert the doll.
No thanks.
This creepy-ass doll with a sailor suit on, living in the attic with his own furniture.
Is there a picture of the doll?
Oh, yes, there's pictures of the doll. Now,
I need to see.
You sure?
Yes. I need to have the correct amount of horror in my brain as you tell me the story.
I almost think that the lion he holds is creepier than the doll itself.
I beg to differ. That is horrible.
Soulless thing.
Oh, that's terrifying. Why would you give that to a child? Why would you keep it forever?
Why would you be that in love with it?
It's awful.
Yeah,
that thing is terrible.
He's not cute. So, children in the neighborhood said...
I'm going to have nightmares.
Children who walked past the house said they could see Robert the doll moving from window to window in the attic. The man was like, I think it was Kermit when he runs. You know what I'm talking about? With his arms.
It's like he's Clifford come to life.
Yes.
That's what Clifford actually was that doll, and turned into Clifford.
God, I love that movie. If you've never seen the movie Clifford, you need to go
Martin Short.
Do yourself a favor. Richard's never seen it.
What?
I keep saying we need to watch it. It's like the best movie ever.
It is. It's horrible and it's awesome.
It's so awesome. Good.
But now I'm gonna watch it after seeing that doll.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole different
experience.
Now, despite Gene's strange behavior with Robert, he became a pretty well-respected artist in Key West. People really didn't know that he probably had a bedroom for this doll in his house. So.
And he played with it, obviously. He's making it run around. Jeez. You don't buy furniture for a doll and not play with a doll.
I just see it running like Kermit, and I can't stop laughing.
Either laugh or cry in horror. Oh, man.
Oh, so, this little Kermit. Gene, unfortunately, passed away in 1974 from Parkinson's, and the son, Centennial, wrote that months before his death, Gene spent almost all his time in the attic just talking to Robert. And you would hear two different voices. Sadly, Gene, he got mad. He did this like out of spite or whatever. Wrote Anne out of his will. Because Anne's mom, when she died, didn't put Gene in her will. So he was like, screw Anne's mom and my wife who's been with me, put up with me in my weird doll fetish.
Weird.
I'm going to write her up.
What a jerk.
He left her the house and Robert, the doll.
Like, the doll she wanted nothing to do with, didn't want in the same room as her.
Yeah.
That's a F-U right there.
Yeah. And he was like, your mom didn't put me in her well. I am not putting you in mine. But
like, because she could control her mother.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Yeah. But he gave all the money. What was that? Robert, the doll's coming to get me.
It fell off the chair.
Oh.
Things on the
ground. Oh, okay. I was like, oh God, Robert, the doll's behind me. So.
He gave it all to Robert?
No, he didn't give the money. He gave it to his sister.
Okay.
But he left Anne in the house. So at least she had the house. Anne was like, I'm getting the F out of here. This jerk didn't give me anything but this stupid house to take care of. I got no money coming in. So she sold the house to a man named William Gazer, and she gave Robert to him too. And she said,
that's not very nice.
That doll was Gene's best friend. Of course, he never had any other friends. So I don't want anything to do with it. She was like, get it away from me. Anne ended up moving back to Massachusetts where her family was from. And she passed away in 1979. She got pancreatic cancer. Poor Anne.
Oh, poor Anne.
Poor Anne. Had to live with that weirdo.
Well, I mean, she was from a time where you didn't really get divorced. You know what I mean?
And she was, like, talented.
Right.
So, eventually a woman named Myrtle Reuter and her husband bought the artist house. And they became Robert's new caretakers.
Oh.
Now, renters who stayed in the house, because he rented out some of the rooms in the house, said they could hear a child laughing in the attic. And they were like, this is weird. And they went up there, and all that was there was Robert's hanging out in his room in the attic.
No.
They also would say that they swore his face would change expressions.
No! No!
Did you see that blank face yet?
No.
Now, Myrtle said she never experienced any weird things with Robert. She was like, everything was fine until they sold the artist house in 1980. And they bought a new home, and she, for some reason, took that creepy-ass doll with her to her new house.
Myrtle was a sister?
No, Myrtle was a woman who ended up buying the home.
Why would you take that thing with you?
Now, when it lived in her other house, she'd set it by the Christmas tree, and she'd change his outfits and stuff, because she was weird too, apparently. But,
at this point, it's a very old antique. The thing's from the early 1900s. Yeah. Like, he was 4, so it's 1904.
Yeah.
And it's 1980. This probably eccentric person's like, oh, look at this old antique doll I have. This is beautiful condition.
Well, he was nice to Myrtle. He didn't do anything weird to her or scare her until she moved him to another house. And then he got pissed. And things started moving around. He started moving around by himself, she said. So she locked him in a room and was like, nope. She said that when she did that, he figured out how to get out and locked her in her room. And she insisted he was haunted. She wanted the doll out of her house. So in 1994, she went to the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West and was like, take this doll from me. I don't want it. It's an antique. Here, put it in your museum. And she died 3 months later. Now, the art director of the museum said he believed Robert was moving his chair in his office. He wasn't in there. So he put marks on the floor to prove that the chair was moved, and sure enough, the chair had been moved. He shared an office with the museum director, Susan Olson, and she wanted nothing to do with Robert, and she wouldn't even go into the office with Robert there.
Can I tell you something? Mm-hmm. If I worked as a cleaning lady in that office, I totally would move that chair.
I know, right? Just enough.
Just a little bit. Just to see cackle evil.
Yeah, right?
Evil cackle after. Because that's how I roll.
Yeah,
ask our friend Jeff.
Yeah.
With the double face.
Oh, yeah. So then she was like, you get that doll out of this office. I can't even work in here. This thing is too creepy. So they put it in the artifacts, and that's where it lived in the storage for 2 years. Now, ghost tour guides who had heard the stories of it would encourage museum patrons to request permission to see them. And it happened so often that the museum was like, all right, there were people that worked at the museum who were like, I'm not going into the storage room with that doll. So they're like, let's just put it on display. So they end up putting him on display in the museum. Now, there is a warning. Visitors to the museum are advised, you be polite to Robert. You must introduce yourself to Robert. If you're going to take a picture, you need to ask permission. And you best be thanking Robert before you walk away from him. You have to do those things.
I would.
If not, bad luck will follow you.
Honestly, I would not go anywhere near Robert and his creepy ass.
No. The museum is said to receive letters addressed to Robert detailing the bad luck the people are having and apologizing to him. People write saying they lost their job, got divorced, had financial hardships, got sick.
I'm not going anywhere near that museum. Nope.
The writers of these letters plead with Robert to lift the curse. The Key West Art Historical Society and paranormal investigator David Slow? I don't know if that's the right name. Actually did some research and wrote a book called Robert the Doll. It was researched on Robert and the Ottos. So he researched the family, he researched the doll. And he said that it was originally made by the Steiff Company in Germany. They were a toy company during the turn of the 19th century. They actually are the ones that invented teddy bears, named after Teddy Roosevelt. So they invented teddy bears. So they're kind of a famous toy company. Now they believe that Robert probably was originally made for a window display and never was supposed to be a toy for anyone, and would have been extremely expensive. He was not a voodoo doll constructed by servants. They're like, that was actually made by this company, and there was something to do with something on it that they could figure out where the origins were. They know that Robert.
I wonder if the servants stole it.
Maybe. Now,
the display.
Some people think that Robert's haunted by Gene's energy. Yeah. Because of his bizarre attachment to it, and he's a weirdo.
Who knows? Maybe it was haunted before he got it, and that's why he had a weird attachment to it.
Yeah. Now, there are rumors, also, that the Otto servant, Emmeline Abbott, had an affair with Gene's father, Thomas, and that she ended up getting pregnant and having a child by him, and the child passed away at 5 years old. The child would have been older than Gene. They say that Emmeline used her magic to trap her child's spirit into that doll. And his attachment to the doll, Gene was so attached to it because it was actually his half-sibling. It was a girl.
Oh.
Little girl. Visitors to the museum and staff have seen an apparition of a child of mixed race near Robert. And she's about 5 years old, long brown hair, and an old-fashioned nightgown. Now, this person's name alone made me die. Poochie Meyer, who is actually a caretaker at the artist's house.
In the 80s, there was a dog named Poochie.
I know that thing.
Poodle.
I love that.
I had tons of Poochie stuff.
Yeah. She was a caretaker for the artist's house in the 80s and said that she would see a spirit of a little girl on the stairs that looked very upset. So, yeah, that could be something. The artist's house is now a bed and breakfast you can stay in, and you can stay in Robert's old room.
No, thanks. I'll pass.
It's also a big stop on ghost tours in Key West.
I don't want Robert anywhere near Robert.
I'm not going in that room.
Nope. no creepy ass dolls.
Robert's now
even though Robert isn't in the room and don't care.
I don't want to be where his weird owner was. I don't want to be where Robert was creeping around through the windows.
I can't. No thanks.
Robert is now 119 years old. And he's still in the East Martello Museum in a UV filtering glass.
He's gotta be older than that now.
Well, wait, when I read that, so, he's 123 years old.
When he was...
He was 1900.
Yeah.
Oh, right?
Who knows when he was made? He was given to Robert when he was 4, or Gene, so... 123
years old.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna guess.
Oh wait, 119's right.
Because he was 34 when he got...
Yep.
So 119. So you got me all confused. Sorry. So he's 119.
Maths,
I mean, maybe he was... We don't know if he was actually made that year that he turned 4, but it's besides the point. He's at least 119.
He's about 120.
He's 120. We'll just say. He's in a humid controlled case, and as you feel like, because you don't want to damage Robert. He's been on TV shows.
He's had to be damaged.
He's had his aura photographed. He has his own Facebook page. He's got merch. He's got following. He gets 1 to 3 letters a day from people asking for forgiveness, begging him to lift his purse. But there's some that will write him and ask him to hex those who wronged them.
Oh, jeez. Of course.
The museum has a whole catalog of all the letters that people sent, which would be kind of cool to read.
Yeah.
He owns the title of the most haunted doll in the world, and there's a hashtag Sorry Robert that trends because
Sorry Robert,
you don't want to piss him off.
No,
and he probably gonna know we laughed at him.
Anything bad that happens from here on out, I'm gonna blame Robert.
You better write him a letter.
Goddamn Robert.
Now, Margaret, in case he gets mad at us for making fun of him and laughing at him, we could write him letters. And I'm going to, you can write to Robert the Doll at 3501 South Roosevelt Boulevard, Key West, Florida, 33040. If you want to write him a letter.
He's the worst Florida man, and he's not even a man. He's a doll.
I wonder if you look up Florida man Gene Otto and see if there's creepy guy living in an attic with a doll. Now you can even do a nighttime lockdown.
No thanks.
At the museum and do ghost hunts with him.
I'm out. Bye.
Now, there's a trilogy of movies that were made. And one's Robert the Doll. Then there's Robert and the Toy Maker. And Robert... And I don't know what's left.
Did we do an episode on the creepy doll island?
I don't think we've done one on that yet.
I don't know if
there's a third one, and I can't read what I wrote because I write on my iPad with a pen, and sometimes it doesn't type it right when I do that. So there's 3. There's a trilogy, Robert the Doll trilogy. Anyway, it started in 2016, so you can watch those movies.
No thanks.
You can buy his merch at the museum, and there's even a mini Robert replica.
No!
That you can take home with you.
Absolutely not.
And have him sitting in your room with you, Margaret, at night. And you can play with them and have him look out the window.
Oh, yes, Colleen. You're going to wake up in the morning and that doll's going to be plastered to the outside of your bedroom. Staring at you, and you're going to die.
I never will open my curtain.
I will never speak to you again.
I just read that and I was like, this is the weirdest, funniest thing. So I had to do it.
Next live, I'm going to be creeping outside your window, and I'm gonna hold it.
Margaret's gonna order the creepy
mini
Robert.
I can't open it until I get to your house.
We should get little mini Robert and have him with us everywhere we go, Flat Stanley, but it'll be mini Robert the Doll.
We need to get one because it's creepy as hell.
Yeah,
we need one.
Yeah, we do need one. So I was really excited when I heard they have a mini replica of him.
She smells food.
Oh, is it Daisy's
up
there?
On top of things, sniffing. Their fat self.
So there you have it. Maybe we'll have Mini Robert when we do AnchorCon on the 19th and 20th of August. We still don't know the date where we're actually going to do our live episode, but you can buy tickets now for the whole weekend if you want to come the whole weekend, or you can wait and figure out which day we're going to be there so you can be there on we're going to be there both days. You can see us both days, but we're only going to record live one day. So you can wait to buy your ticket to know the day we're going to record live so you can sit in the audience which is exciting.
It will be fun.
And you want to make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram so you can find out what those days are. Also, you're going to see pictures of Robert the Doll, Otto,
because who doesn't?
Gene Otto.
I don't want to. I wanted to see it, and now I wish I could unsee it.
I asked you sure you want to see him? And you said yes. He has a weird blank face, and it creeps me out.
It looks like he's pockmarked.
Yeah, it's all gross.
Like
I don't like it either.
I don't like it.
Well, I'm going to post pictures on there, so make sure you're following us on there, and our episodes will go on there too, and they pop up.
And if you'd like to send us a message, you can send us an email at thecousinsweird@gmail.com. Or you can send us a direct message through Instagram or Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. Reach out with your creepy stories, your funny stories, anything, even requests. We would love to hear them.
Yeah, and do you have experience with a creepy-ass doll? Tell us about it.
Or a creepy-ass person?
Yeah. I don't know which is worse.
Anything. I don't know.
A person or a doll. I almost think a creepy-ass person's worse.
Oh, a doll's worse. Creepy-ass person, you can call the police and put them in jail. What are you going to do with a doll?
Lock them in a UV...
Unless they figure out...
controlled
Right,
case.
unless they figure out how to get out.
He did figure out how to get out of that locked room and lock poor Myrtle in her bedroom. I don't know how he reached... Oh, he's 3 feet tall. He could reach the thing.
Meow.
Yeah.
Like it's creepy.
So if you want to support our podcast, the best way to do that is share us with your friends. Share us on social media. Tell them about the Robert the Doll episode. Maybe they want to learn about creepy Robert the Doll. I mean, who doesn't want to know about him? I mean,
everybody.
Everyone in every day of my life, I wanted to know what I was missing. And I found out I didn't know about Robert the Doll. Now the piece is filled and I am fulfilled. But you also can support us through patreon.com/thecousinsweird. For $1 a month to become a freaky friend. And you get a sticker. And you get bonus episodes. Bonus content. And then for $5 a month, become a terrible friender, and you get a sticker, bonus content, ad-free episodes, and a quarterly Skype with yours truly, Margaret and Kelly.
Yes. So please, let us know. I guess that's it. You can edit that out. Let us know. Let us know what? Let us know that we're delirious? Yes, we are.
We used to drink during our episodes.
How?
I don't know how we made it through. We can't even do it sober.
We should bring that back this summer. It's time.
Time for a cocktail by the pool.
Cocktails and weird dolls.
Yeah.
You know.
I need a drink after looking at a picture of Robert the Doll. Okay, I think that's
all right, that's it. Stay freaky. Bye.